Hi, it is said motherhood is the only place where you can experience heaven and hell at the same time because of the highs and lows of the mom. Hi, my name is Aarti Chawla. I'm a life coach, a spiritual enthusiast, a content creator. I create content around life, relationship, and lifestyle. Today, we have a beautiful soul here, Preetjyot Kaur. Hi, Preet. Welcome to the podcast and my channel. Hello.
Hi, Aarti. It's a pleasure to be here, an honor.
Thank you. Honor is mine. Thank you so much for taking this invite, accepting this invite. Preetjyot Kaur, a successful entrepreneur, the founder of Inspire Coach Academy. She is a NLP practitioner and a life coach for kids and also a parenting coach. Wonderful. So many hats together, Preet.
Thank you.
Welcome and welcome back to everybody who's watching and listening to us on the podcast. Do subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. Today, we are going to talk about postpartum depression to taking charge of your life. Beautiful topic, and thank you so much for coming and sharing it with all the audience here, Preetjyot. Would like to know your life journey around postpartum. Would you like to share something?
Sure. I, I feel that postpartum depression caught me off guard. I was
Mm-hmm.
not ready that it was coming my way. It sort of started in my last phase of pregnancy, and it moved on till after my first daughter was 10, 11 months old. And for the longest time, I had no idea this was happening.
Mm-hmm.
The only feeling I remember raw was I used to go through the self-pity that, oh my God, my body's gone through this, and now I have to do so much. I, and moreover, first time mother being so confused. So that
Mm-hmm.
confusion and the self-pity, it combined and made a big mountain for me, which I just felt I couldn't handle. I have always had charge of my life. And
Mm-hmm.
this was one time I lost this connection with myself.
Hmm.
Forget about the connection that I had with my daughter,
Hmm.
because I was having a connection with her, but that was taking a lot of my energy
Hmm.
at that moment, because uh, it was not coming effortlessly, which
Hmm.
ideally people say it has to come effortlessly. The moment you hold your baby, you're like this mother overnight. It took
Yes.
me time. It took a
So,
lot of energy.
how do we define postpartum? For our audience, would you like to share what does that mean? What are the symptoms and what exactly happens? Is it like any other anxiety, bout of anxiety that we get, or what happens exactly?
So it's different for different people. Like for
Okay.
me, it started with self-pity, wherein, oh my God, I have to do everything on my own. Yeah, even if I have help,
Hmm.
I'm a person, I hesitate to take help. So that was another thing that was adding on to my pressure.
Hmm.
Then the moment my daughter was born, I was playing solo. So we had to move to another city, and I was all by myself. So at
Hmm.
that time, confused, nobody around, being, in a situation wherein I had to take care of the baby. Though I
Hmm.
didn't have to take care of the chores, but the baby bit was too big for me, confused all the time. And I feel, because I've spoken to so many women when it comes to postpartum depression, I realize that it's different for different people. Like for me, it was self-pity
Hmm.
and confusion. There are people who suddenly feel disconnected with even their loved ones. Like if
Hmm.
their husband or their own parent is
Hmm.
offering help, they would just push them away that you don't understand me. Uh,
Hmm.
and number one factor, I feel that most of women are not able to come out of it right in time is because people around us, they feel that you're just over dramatic right now. You don't
Hmm.
realize this over exaggeration, being uh, instantly you're being cranky, and you're like how we say that during pregnancy people have mood swings. So this
Yes.
mood swing gets carried on. So
Hmm.
it can go into anxiety attacks also for some people. So it's
Hmm.
completely different for different people. I've heard of stories where people have had palpitations,
Yes.
sudden instances of that. So,
Hmm.
and because we are not ready, nobody talks about it.
Nobody talks about it.
We
Yeah.
are, caught off guard.
Yeah, yeah. So tell us the journey. Like you said, it started even before your child was born. It started when you were in the third trimester. So any physical symptoms also you faced? Or did you realize that something's happening with me? Or was it like, okay, it's a part and parcel, hota hai. Abhi, you are carrying to thoda lagega aisa, depression hoga, not even the word depression. We are not even shayad aware of the word, but okay, mood swings hai because she's pregnant and all of that. So did you kind of realize any symptom before all of that happened?
So you said it correctly. So I've been pregnant twice, and both the times it was completely different. So the
Okay.
first time, because people were coming and telling me, you will have mood swings, you will
Hmm.
go through these panics, and you will throw tantrums, you will be cranky. So
Hmm.
even if I was not supposed to reach that stage,
It's
I
there.
was prepared and I was ready. Everybody has to deal with it. So if and I was preparing my husband also simultaneously. Listen, if I'm cranky, you have to deal with it because it happens with everybody. This is what everyone's
You know
telling
what?
me.
Sorry to interrupt. वो movies
Yeah.
में दिखाते हैं ना. I remember there was this movie where Preeti Zinta wanted to have ice cream at the end, at the nth hour at 4 o'clock in the morning, and Saif Ali Khan had to take her to have the ice cream and all of that. I mean, sometimes the society also creates a lot of
Huh.
havoc. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So even
That's
if
what
I
happened.
didn't want to, so in that movie also similar things happened with me also. So even if I
Mm,
didn't have a craving, I just
yeah,
wanted to. So
yeah.
I just started doing things. So
Mm,
what happened is initial stages I didn't realize because I was too busy with my nausea and other things. But later stage when I started feeling that physically I'm not able to do a lot of things, I'm panting. The
mm,
normal things that I do uh, easily were just becoming so difficult to do. So it was physical exhaustion that was causing this mental exhaustion also to some
mm,
extent and
mm,
constantly judging yourself for things like यार मैं क्यों नहीं कर पा रही हूँ, this is so
mm.
easy, this is such an easy task.
Hmm. So I'm sure it must also be impacting the self-esteem and the self-worth during that time. So how did you cope up?
It had gone for a toss.
Mm,
Aarti, I couldn't recognize this person I had become.
mm,
Like I said, it started during my pregnancy, and I've
mm,
been the eldest of my siblings, and the elders ideally they are always in charge and they're in control. So from somebody who was a go-getter, if I had a dream job, I went ahead and got it, to somebody who was just so lost, no connection with myself. I couldn't recognize what I was seeing in the mirror. And
mm,
the biggest factor was the fact that I was so goal-oriented, so career-oriented.
mm,
And for me, it was different. Ideally, with people, what happens, they get pregnant and then they leave job. For
mm.
me, it was ulta.
Acha.
I left my job because I wanted to get pregnant. So
Ah,
I left it within few months. I was expecting. So all these factors that I left my job and simultaneously I was studying for something. I was doing my MBA, and then was like this huge bubble of confusion,
mm,
chaos was on my head, and
mm.
I could just see that bubble, and I knew it's gonna just somebody is gonna prick it someday, and it's gonna just fall on me like that.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. So tell us something about your journey from going through it and then overcoming. How did you, where did you get support from? What did you do? And what helped you? And as you said, family was there and they were wanting to help you, but then you were pushing them away. So how does that work? Like, how do you start taking help?
So for the first 6 months, I didn't even know that this was depression. And this
Mm,
happens with a lot of women. And this is
mm,
normal. If you go through this, if you seek help from a professional, it is a normal journey that most women go through. But
mm,
because I didn't know this was happening, I just thought like how gaslighting works, right? People tell
yes.
you you're over dramatic and you
Mm,
start believing that you are being over dramatic. So I
mm,
started believing. So it was only when, and because I was this very strong bacha of the house, I would never talk about how I was feeling. My
mm,
mother started seeing these small signs because obviously
mm,
she's raised three or four kids and she knows how it is, right? So she noticed and she took a step back and she sort of started analyzing me silently. And that is when she sat with me one day, and after 6, 7 months of my child was born, and she asked me, "What is happening?
Hmm.
Are you happy?"
Hmm.
And my reply, "Of course, I'm happy," was not the normal kind of tone, and she caught it.
Mother
And
knows
then,
everything. Yeah.
and she did not decode it for me,
Hmm.
but she immediately, the second chance she got, she spoke to my husband and she explained to him, okay, this is what is happening. She needs our support. And he was anyways there, but he was also confused. Now, first time father, he also was not ready for it. So the moment he realized that this is, she needs us, so he
Hmm.
was more uh, open towards whatever I was doing. He was trying to understand. Uh,
Hmm.
the one thing that in this whole loop that was missing was my identity. It was the
Hmm.
identity factor that uh, the day those dots were connected is the day I came out of this depression.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. So, what
So
helped? If you can share with the audience, I'm sure a lot of people must be going through this and they are not aware what to do, apart from, of course, going to a counselor. What is it that they can do for themselves or their family members can do for themselves?
So while this depression was happening, it was internal. My baby had no idea about this. I was
Hmm.
having a gala time with her. I was in, but every time she and I were connected, everyone used to roll their eyes at me that why are you talking to a 6 month old baby? But I would talk to her for hours at stretch. Simple, simple things like I'm going to the kitchen to get food. I'm going to get this falana thing. And uh, I had this partner with me. But at the same time, I was doing things differently. I'm a very you would say rebellious person.
Hmm.
I've been like that. That's how I'm conditioned internally. I always question the system, and if it resonates with me, I follow it. If it does not, I question the system.
Hmm.
So I was not following the normal books that were passed on to us from generation that this is how you're supposed to parent. So I was questioning these norms like Kala Tika. My
Hmm.
daughters have never had Kala Tika on them because that I couldn't,
There's
nobody
no
could convince
logic.
me. Huh,
Yeah.
people couldn't
No
convince
science.
me with a logic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when my brother was silently observing me, like, tu kamal kar rahi hai. Why don't you share this with people? People need to know that you're breaking the stereotypes
Hmm.
and you're not doing what ideally people do when they're parenting.
Hmm.
Uh, Start writing, start
Hmm.
sharing. So I was like, why will I do it? So he explained me a couple of things, and wherein he told me start a blog and start sharing your story. What if people resonate? There's so many people who might want to hear you.
Hmm.
And so the moment I started writing and I realized that a lot of people could resonate, this was
Hmm.
the first time this new world opened to me that, yeah, this is happening.
Hmm.
And
Wonderful. Awesome.
so
Hmm.
I thank my brother because of him. Today I'm sitting with you. Everything happens for a reason. So here
All
I'm
right.
sitting with you because of that, that he realized that uh, there was
Hmm.
something that I could do.
So before going to that writing stage, I mean, how did you know that talking to the child will help you or doing certain other things for your own mental wellness will help you? So, did you figure out on your own or did you do some kind of, did you take any support, help, external help? What helped you?
So number one thing that helped me was I declared publicly that I'm gonna only do one task.
Ah,
I had said I'm gonna just raise this kid and I'm gonna give all that I have in my power. I'll do everything that I can do to make sure that this person turns out to be the best human being,
so
you
from
know.
depression to taking charge, before taking charge of yourself, I think you started taking charge of your child because
Ah,
he was, a
right,
part of you when you've given birth to her. Yeah.
yeah. So I was with her, I was following my heart, whatever my heart said, like I said, breaking the stereotypes along the way. And one thing that my mother said, which is uh, where this transition started happening from
Hmm.
being a Dukhiari Ma to somebody who was like, Chalo, theek hai, let's do it. Uh,
Hmm.
was this thing that my mother told me. She said कि बेटा जो चीज तुम्हें करनी है वो तुम्हें ही करनी है. The choice is
Hmm.
yours. Whether you want to sit and cry in crib and create a drama out of it, or you start embracing it, happily do it. Because
Hmm.
it was my decision that I didn't want to take any nanny help or
Hmm.
any external help for my daughter. Uh, my mother kind of told me that it's your decision to do it on your own. Now be happy and embrace it. So
Hmm.
the statement changed me, wherein I was doing whatever I was doing, but now I was enjoying it. So I
Hmm.
was slowly transitioning into some new person altogether.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, message to everybody, we have to go through that and we have to do it. Whether you do it happily or you crib about it and, take a toll about it and all of that. So, embrace the change is something that, comes out as a summary to whatever you've spoken. It is good. The change is good for your good. I mean, it's a beautiful moment for, parent to, for a couple to become parents and embrace it and move on. And also, you are responsible for the child. So, take care of yourself so that you can take care of the child. That's what is important. That's what probably struck you and you started taking charge of your life.
Hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful, amazing. So you mentioned about you being rebel and you going against the stereotype. Tell us something about your childhood. How were you when you were young and what kind of rebel were you?
So my parents were like how they say boys are raised differently. When we were growing up, that was an era where boys were treated differently with immense respect, and they were kept at a podium, while girls were not. In my house, it was ulta. So,
Hmm.
in order to ensure that this does not happen in a house, this partiality of boys versus girls does not happen, my parents went extra mile to ensure that they empower their daughters. So we have
Ah.
two sisters and two brothers, and they went all out. So one constant thing that my mother kept saying that no matter what you do wherever you are, I
Hmm.
don't want you to be a woman whose only sole purpose or task for the day is to cook for the family or cater to the needs. You should have something else as a mission as well, which
Hmm.
sort of, even if you don't earn, that's okay. But have a mission. Apart from just this, have extra mission where which keeps you motivated. So
Hmm.
all my childhood, while my house was different, I was very protected in other things. But the society was there, right? They were
Absolutely.
extended people, they were neighbors. So if anything, like I learned how to drive, uh, and my brother was still not learning. So everybody's questioning, इसको क्यों सिखा रहे हो? उसको क्यों नहीं सिखा रहे? Yeah, why is your daughter doing this and your son is not doing? My
Hmm.
parents were careless. They were like, जाने दो. But even though I was kind of enjoying this, that ठीक है, my family is being a rebel, we sort of breaking those norms. A part of me knew that this could be a longer struggle,
Hmm.
because right now my parents are there with me. What
Outside
if
society is not like that. Yeah.
what if I'm on my own outside? What if there also I have to, prove to people that, I belong here. I
Hmm.
expect equality. So it was gradually happening, and I was very rowdy in my siblings' words. As in, I would do stunts, I would jump off the roof, I would do all sorts of. um I was physically very active, so very daring to say in that aspect. So I've had a good childhood.
Hmm. Beautiful. Probably that's what kept you going when you were going through this depression state. That support and whatever you've seen in your childhood and you've been a go-getter. That's what made you kept you going even when you were going through this. Yes, yes. So anything you would like to tell this rebel, this 16, 17-year-old girl today? Anything that you got to say? Because that time you said that you had this apprehension that outside society may not support the kind of person you are, though your parents are supportive. So anything you got to tell her?
Oh God, this question hit me hard. Oh my God. I and there's one thing I want to tell her, because I know at that moment a lot of things internally were happening. Even then, outside, I was very rebellious. I was like, I'm not scared of anything, bring it on. But like I said, a part of me knew there was something that could come my way. And I want to tell this person that, you know what, people around you in hushed voices are probably saying that, इसको इतना छूट क्यों लिया हुआ है? Why is this? Why are you not treating your daughter like a daughter? Why are you giving her wings to fly? Why is she allowed to live her dream career? So I want to remind this girl that people are talking behind your back for a reason. You
Hmm.
are going to reach wherever you have to reach eventually. If you put
Yes.
your heart in, and I was very stubborn. So if you put your heart into something,
Hmm.
you're in the right direction because your heart never lies. And
Hmm.
I actually want to go and hug this 16-year-old me that, come on, let people talk. It does not matter.
Hmm, beautiful. You've come a long, long way from where you were that time, and now you are, in fact, empowering other people. We'll definitely come to that. Tell us something after you went through this whole depression thing, going back to your motherhood. Um, how was life after coming out? So, did you kind of reflect back and you understood that I could have done something better when I was going through these 10 months of postpartum? Or do you feel that, whatever you do or whatever a mother does at that time is the best she could? I mean, you could. So, do you have anything to say about the post coming out of depression state?
To be very honest, I wouldn't want to take that section of my life away.
Hmm.
It sort of made me a very strong person, a very strong mother. Uh,
Hmm.
Today, if you meet my daughters, you will know what I mean. Uh, it there is something that's up because parenting, every day you learn something new. So there's another thing that I learned, which sort of also added to what I am today, is that never change your life
Hmm.
for your child. Number one reason.
Your life for your child. Okay, cool.
So your
Hmm.
lifestyle, the kind of life you have, suppose you like going out um, to restaurants. So if you like going out to restaurants, don't stop doing it. If you like
Hmm.
dancing, don't stop doing it. If you like playing a guitar, don't stop doing it. Of
Hmm.
course, time constraints are there, but don't just completely stop doing what you're doing. So
Hmm.
when the statement came to me, I wanted to understand what it meant. And this person, a very dear friend, explained to me that let your child adapt your life instead
Hmm.
of doing it vice versa. Are the bacha is sleeping, stay quiet. So what we used to do is our TV used to be on, and my bacha used to still sleep.
Hmm.
So uh, everything that we had to do, everyday activities, nothing changed. We started living the life the way we wanted. Couple
Hmm.
of things because of my depression, it stopped. We restarted those, like going out. I stopped completely going out. We
Hmm.
still went out. And all these things, little things, led to us to this point wherein I knew, I was like, especially, I'll give you an example to decode this. When my second daughter was born, you know what I did? I looked at myself in the mirror. I said, listen, depression, whoever and wherever you are, I don't care about you. This
Hmm.
time, let's see if you win or I win. Because I
Yeah.
was internally happy, I was on a mission, and I was
Hmm.
enjoying what I was doing. And because I was not changing myself for my
Yeah.
baby knew me as it is. If I am the way I am, my baby just knew that personality. I didn't have to fake it in front
You
of my child.
realized this even in your first pregnancy when
हाँ
you were.
उसी में रियलाइज हुआ था ये चीज ड्यूरिंग
Hmm.
दैट ट्रांजिशन पीरियड that
Hmm.
कि नहीं I don't have to change myself. So the day I stopped pretending in front of my baby that अरे मेरे अंदर कुछ बहुत ही बड़ा ममता का पहाड़ है,
Hmm.
that's the moment where I realized that यार this is fun. ठीक है,
Yeah.
challenges आते हैं but
Hmm.
it's fun.
Hmm. This also reminds me that in India, there's a lot of pressure on women to, when they, of course, become women, mothers, there's a lot of pressure to be a certain way with your children, to be a certain way, to have that mamta, as you rightly mentioned, and to be giving. And, हम बाद में रोटी खाएंगे, पहले उसको देंगे, उसका बचा हुआ हम खा लेंगे, things like that, and giving and accommodating and doing a lot for the children. So, apart from your own depression and whatever you were going through, were there any societal pressure that time also?
I realized when I came out of depression, I became this foolproof person. Like I had these guards on. Nobody
Hmm.
could enter those guards. So I could hear hushed voices like I was
Hmm.
hearing in my childhood. But these were just hushed voices. They could not enter my internal space. So
But
they
there
were
were voices. People were
there.
judging was what you're
People are
doing.
still judging. People
Ah.
will still judge. People will never stop judging no matter what you do. Uh, it will happen forever and ever. It's just
And
that now
these are your people near to you, or they are like
unknown
far off?
people
Known people.
walking on the road, people who don't know me, they'll message me, why is your child talking in English? मातृभाषा सिखाओ. And I'm like, उनको आती है वो भी, पर अभी वो English बोल रहे हैं. It's okay, not a
Hmm.
big deal. And why do I have to explain to you? So
Yeah.
when you're in the public space anyways, extra log aate hain, to roll their eyes at you, which is
Um,
okay. It's their call. I'm okay. I'm foolproof.
Got it. So while your daughter was growing up, you again became a rebel and you had that guard on, and societal pressure आया लेकिन that time also there was this pressure that on questions on your how you're raising your child, what you're doing to her. जैसे अभी आपने टीवी का एग्जांपल दिया, टीवी क्यों ऑन रखा है जब बच्चा सो रहा है, तो so all of that questions were there.
Huh. And they were in fact a lot, which is why I again, a part of me coming out of depression was
Mm.
me also declaring that I will do this my way.
Mm.
I used to listen to people, but me and my husband, we worked as a very strong team. We still have this pact that if ever one of us is wrong, हम किसी बाहर वाले की नहीं सुनते, दोनों. If anybody is
Mm.
advising us, we listen, we like, yeah, respectfully, we nod our head, but we follow our heart. If it resonates, then only we listen. If it does
Mm.
not, we just respectfully say thank you.
Mm.
But we have this pact. If either one of us is going wrong, we'll quietly and with open arms listen and accept this feedback. So,
Mm.
so if because sometimes we get carried away and we do funny things. So along the way, he sort of takes me to the side. Listen, this ये ज़्यादा हो रहा है. रुक जाओ.
हाँ,
I'm like,
हाँ.
अच्छा ठीक है. So this fact kind of helps us stay grounded also. So even if we are deviating, we stay
Mm.
grounded and true.
Mm. Last one thing I would like to know, since we are talking about your husband and the pact that you have, how important it is to have a strong bond with the husband and the relationship, between the couple to kind of overcome this depression state, or for a good parenting of your child when you are a newborn, a new mom. So, would you like to say anything about that?
You know, I listen to a lot of stories online. I speak to women, and I realize that most of the women, they're struggling, most of the mothers are struggling because the thought process of theirs and their husbands
Husbands.
not similar.
Yeah.
And it kind of, see, for me and my husband, it was difficult. It was very easy to do what we wanted to do because it was just
Hmm.
two of us together as a team. But if
Hmm.
we were not in the same team, it is
Hmm.
difficult because if one parent thinks that gentle parenting should be followed and the other parent feels that you should give one spanking to your child, how are you going to balance?
Exactly.
And the child is so confused that, come
Hmm.
on, act as a team. Why are you confusing me whether you want to raise me in a gentle way or you want to spank me? And that balance is so important. It's okay to have disconnections.
Hmm.
Sometimes, a lot of times, that with me and my husband also, we have disagreements. But these
Hmm.
these disagreements never ever have happened in front of a third party. That third
Hmm.
party also includes our children. If
Hmm.
we have to discuss and come to conclusion. So it's very important to be on the same page. You can't raise a child without being on the same page. If your husband is not getting convinced, convince him. Because you
Hmm.
have to, if you can't convince him, also come to a common ground. You
Yes.
have to. There's no other
Mhm.
way.
So, anything you got to tell those mothers who are struggling because of postpartum and the husband is also not on the same page? Anything that you want to suggest or you want to share out of your experience? Like, in
I want,
India, I mean, I understand it's a patriarchal society. The way man is, the upbringing has happened and the way women's upbringing has happened is totally different. And as you rightly mentioned, in your childhood also, there was this, whole discrimination. And though it was a different kind of discrimination, but there are still traditional families where, women have leveled up, but men are still not leveling up, to that point. So anything that you want to share or suggest?
I really want to share one important aspect wherein if somebody is saying that there's this term called super mom, it does not exist.
Mm.
Nobody is perfect.
Mm.
And we have to stop beating ourselves up for things that we miss while we are raising our kids. There are a lot
Mm.
of things that will go wrong. Every day, one thing would go wrong. But then sitting and sulking over this or beating yourself over it or feeling guilty that, oh my God, I missed this or I made this mistake, it's a normal part of growing with your child. And every day, if, for example, if today I did a mistake,
Mm.
tomorrow, imagine I will be more sure of how not to make this mistake again, right? So it's
Mm.
mistakes only make us better parents. And it's
Mm.
completely okay. Stop judging yourself if you go wrong. So there is nothing called as wrong parenting. It's just that we
Mm.
all are learning.
Mm.
And don't try to be a super person because nobody is.
Nobody
कुछ
is
रह
a
जाएगा तो रहने दो. Why are
mm.
most of mothers worked up? Because there are a lot of chores that we have to take care of. छोटा छोटा lots of things. और वो अगर हमने नहीं किया तो वो रह जाएगा. And I keep reminding uh, my people around that, it's okay if the laundry is kept for one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take a break. You need a breather. Watch
Mm.
Netflix for one day. It's okay.
Mm.
I mean, if people around you and your family are judging you, hide somewhere in a den and watch. But you
Mm.
need your space. Your mental health matters, and that can only be sorted if you are prioritizing yourself. If
Mm.
today you ask me, Aarti, who's on my priority list of people, I am on my number one. It
Mm.
took me a long time to be number one. Long
Mm.
initial ages, initial days, my parents were, then my husband, my kids. आज मैं नंबर वन पे हूँ अपनी लिस्ट में.
Very good.
And which is why I feel today I'm the happiest version of myself.
Amazing, amazing. Great. So be your own first priority, your number one priority, and don't try to be a super mom is something that I understand from what you say. And it's okay to commit mistakes, take a break, just watch Netflix and carry on with your life. You don't have to be a super mom. So getting back to my question earlier that I asked, how to tackle if somebody is not getting that kind of support from the husband? In terms of parenting or in terms of how you should raise your child, um, and you're also going through postpartum. So how, of course, raising a child may not be a very very deeper thing that time, apart from the normal chores that you have. Raising a child becomes a topic later when the child is going to school, and the kind of values that you want to. But however, I'm sure during that first 1 year's time when your child is very small, there can be certain places where you don't agree to each other and you don't, you're not on the same page, and you're also going through postpartum. How to handle?
So the number one thing that I feel is different today and uh, was different when I was in this phase is that today there's a lot of support. When it comes
Hmm.
to postpartum depression, people are openly talking about mental health, which is such a
Absolutely.
blessing. People now
Absolutely.
know that there is something called as postpartum depression. You might, even if it's not depression, you might go through certain low times, and they are aware. And I also see that there's so many communities, women are supporting each other. So sometimes if you
Yes.
don't get support at home, maybe your
Hmm.
husband is not supporting you or your uh,
Mm.
other people living in your house are not supporting you. Even if you have one person with whom you could share your story,
Yes.
uh, and somebody just listens to you, you
Mm.
sort of feel free. I have seen women who are completely, they're making uh, their husbands not being supportive, but because of the community support, they're
Mm.
completely okay. They're like, ठीक है, वो नहीं,
Mm.
उनको नहीं समझ में आ रहा. There are so many people going through the same boat. Just by
Mm.
discussing and talking and strategizing together, they kind of find their way out.
Amazing. Yes. 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 So it is okay even if you don't get support at home, seek out support outside
Yeah.
and talk to somebody. Maybe you go for a counseling session and just talk your heart out, and that's how you can manage your depression as well as the home front. We've almost come to the end of this session, Preet. Before we end, any message that you want to give to new mothers, anything that you want to share um, to our audience?
My number one message is that don't lose yourself while you're transitioning into this parenting phase. The
Prioritize
moment
yourself.
you lose, the moment that connection is broken,
Yeah.
it will take a lot of energy and time to fix it. Like in my
Mm,
case, it happened. So try
mm,
not to lose yourself. Just try to be yourself. Take a breather. It's okay. कर लेंगे. Difficult है. I know it's very difficult. Even today,
I
it's
know.
difficult for me.
I
But
know.
uh, just the right mindset,
Mm.
it sort of helps you.
Absolutely. Work on your mindset, prioritize yourself. And if you're going through any challenges, you can always seek support. So, I will also be putting your details in the description box. Just tell us, how do you help now, mothers, and how can they approach you? We'll definitely put the links in the description. But who can come to you to seek support?
So I'm the founder of this community called Inspire Parenting Hub.
Mhm.
And the three values that are truly important to us is connection uh, with the child, with yourself, with your husband, with those around you.
Mm,
Your confidence, not
mm,
feeling overwhelmed with whatever is coming your way when you're
mm,
raising a child, and freedom. Freedom with freedom from all those unnecessary noises that are in the background. Sometimes it's our internal voices, sometimes it's external. And I kind of help people align with these values. I help people with their everyday parenting struggles. And
mm,
the first thing that I do when somebody comes into my community is that we shift the mindset, because
mm,
everything is internal. Once we shift the mindset that we've been following since long,
mm.
things start, the piece of the puzzle, it starts, coming to its uh,
Together.
together.
Mm,
And moreover, I feel that uh, for me, like I said, there's nothing called as super mom. There's
mm,
always, if there is a problem, there are hundreds of solutions. So
mm,
I want to open these hundreds of solutions ka door for parents. And I
mm,
want them to know that there's always a way out. You can't have a problem and say that, oh my God, this is going to stick with us forever. There is
mm.
always a way out. You just need the right people to guide you. And the solution is just out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I will urge all my audience and whoever in who's listening to us is a new mom and needs help. Solution is already there. Just check out the link in the description and connect with her and her team. And she's helping hundreds and thousands of moms, and she'll help you as well. Thank you so much, Preet, for coming here and sharing your story, sharing about your journey, and giving so good nuggets, such good nuggets to the audience who's listening. Thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart. And all the best to you for whatever you're doing. You're doing a great work, and all the best to you. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Aarti.